Hi, Bubba family. I'm the Vodou doll, Mambo Ganet. I am initiator of Haitian Vodou and also a ordained minister. I was seeing this came off of Reddit, and I need to go back and see what people was saying to this person. And the issue was they was into voodoo, practice Vodou. I don't know if they was. I don't think they was initiated or anything. I don't know if they had any lavatories or anything like with it. They kind of practice. I don't even know if they was in a society or anything like that. But I wanted to talk about it because I think some people was talking about it or responding in a Catholic sense, and the family was Protestant, so and it wasn't into the saints and all that kind of stuff either. So I think some people kind of gave, good advice, and some of it, like talk about the rosary, the Hail Mary. I don't, they could probably do the rosary in private or something like that if they wanted to. But if you in a Protestant Christian home, I would suggest, now if you're going to try to be secret about it and not build your little altar, because they were talking about having an altar, then the altar technically is within you. You are the altar, so you technically don't need an altar till later on. But if you're so pressed, you can have your phone, a tablet, something put be an altar. You can have pictures in the phone. You can have different things, and you just pull them out when you're honoring certain laws or things like that. Or if you wanted to keep it in a Catholic frame, then in your phone you can have pictures of the saints and stuff like that. If you wanted something, so that's one way. If you wanted to keep it Catholic based, but as a Protestant, you can. They still have Bon Dieu, God. Which you can, see in whatever way you want to see. So that's fine. They have Jesus, who is the Son of God, which can also be looked at as a middle path. That's like a legba, as I once said it before. Because, Jesus said he's the way to the Most High, or to the spiritual realm, and so is legba. Now, it's not a traditional, but some people could see, if you have it in that mind frame, you could look at it like that. Also, Jesus could be looked at as the manifestation of humans, or the manifestation of the Most High, which is in the divine masculine and feminine. And since Jesus had the Holy Spirit, and Holy Spirit was like the feminine aspect, that's the divine feminine and masculine as well in that. You can also see that as like the Maasai, not really traditional. You don't have to look at it like that, but sometimes, the little why work with different people and families in different ways. There's a traditional way, and then there's ways that they work with your family, or, within you personally, on how you can view them. They're just, ways that when you can do it traditionally or in a Catholic sense. Then you have the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit could be seen as the spirits themselves, the Lawah, the Holy Lawah, or things like that. And you can keep it like that, and you can keep that mind frame when you're doing your prayers and this and that and the other. And you have that intention. And if you feel better, just stay in that to the Lawah, you can, but they already know. That's in a Protestant sense. But say you just want, you can also have a representation of just a cross. I don't know any Christians that are, so this if you want a physical altar. You can have a little table as a, because I didn't respond to this thing, usually I do, but I wanted to make a video. You can have the cross. The cross can represent so many things. The cross can represent the crossroads, which is, like a legba. It can also represent Samdi. I think it's few different ways you see crosses in them. So it can all be like a symbol of the spiritual realm, or the merge between life and death, the spiritual realm and the material world. And that cross could be a symbol of, the Loa and stuff like that as well. Sometimes you have to get really creative. Talk with your spirits and see how they want you to represent them, because they're there. And if you really want a physical representation, then you can find a way. Sometimes we make it harder than it really has to be. Remember, our ancestors had to use what they had. And I think a lot of people forget that. And one thing I am adamant about, and this is probably part of my the hoodoo part of me, I'm a bit adamant of using what you have. Using the source resources you have and what you have around you. I feel like you can always practice Vodou no matter how little you may have, because you have to, my big thing is being adaptable. And sometimes a lot of people look at this stuff from a religious sense, and when you're more spiritual on the spiritual side, you have to be more adaptable to your certain situations, certain areas, certain climates, and certain people that you are maybe around, depending on the freedoms that you may have. So that's from a Protestant standpoint. Then of course you have Vodou. You can there's root work and all kinds of stuff. There's certain aspects that's similar to Vodou with hoodoo. You can use some of that aspects. You can talk about some characters in the Bible if you don't want to talk about the saints, like Moses. Moses' staff can be, the snake can be a representation of Dambala. I think Moses was a representation of I forget which spirit. I have to go back and look. They're just all types, and then, all types of things and stuff like that. What else? You have a simple glass of water. You get just like a regular cup, like you just drinking water, and just sit it on the table. Nobody's gonna think twice about that. You could just left that water there and forgot about it. There's certain things. Any offerings, when you eat your food, you put a little portion to the side, offer this to the spirit, and then dispose of it as you must. You don't have to sit there for long. What else? It's just so much. I have so many ideas, so many things. Another thing, like I said, you have to be spiritual and learn how to connect with your spiritual guides. Anything could be a representation. You can use as a representation if it's similar. Think about the colors of the Loa. Think about certain aspects of the Loa. It's kind of far, different. But maybe there's certain superheroes, figures you can use. Remember, sometimes they're in like spiritism or stuff like that. They're dolls. Your spirit, you can dedicate the doll or bless it to be part, a representation of that spirit. Or, they're not gonna, or, just, you gotta really think out the box. Say you collect teddy bears. You can collect teddy bears in different colors. That's the representation of that Loa. It's out the box. It's not traditional. But let me see if I can change this song, because I want this to continue. But there's like so many things that you can do that's like not even noticeable, that people won't even bat an eye about. What I am, and I think what the Loa brought me here to be, is just to uphold tradition, but also to be able to be adaptable and think outside the box. And I think that's something different that I bring. It's not, it might not be popular because a lot of people like to go with tradition, but everybody is not in the position to do the traditional things. You can incorporate as much tradition as you can, but when you can't do tradition, you have to be think outside the box. Just like a video that Elmira Bokor did. And it is true. Where, say you get locked up and you're in prison and you're stripped away from everything, what you gonna do? What you gonna use? You have to be adaptable. You have to think. You'll get food, you'll get water, different things. And you can do so much stuff and so much work with just water. You can, there's so much different stuff you can do. With offerings and stuff like that. You just really have to think outside of the box. So I guess this video is just being really adaptable. Anything else? There's probably more ideas will come to me after this video. But, think about how Vodou came about and some of these other folk traditions came about. They were stripped of everything. There was no Catholicism with saints to hide behind. So they still had spirits, but they didn't have to have the representation of the spirits. The spirits are always with you. They're there. They're in you and without you. And, by without, I mean like outside of you. They're everywhere. They're not contained just to your altar. Yes, it's nice to have the altar and then all the theatrical stuff, but in the spiritual sense, if you think it spiritually, you don't need those things. They're nice to have, but you don't need those things. If all you had was just outside and you was in nature, you have nature. In Vodou, they don't have none of that stuff traditionally. They have what? Pots, nature, iron, all this stuff, and the spirit lives within that stuff. You have to be adaptable. You have to think outside the box and get out of that religious mindset. Yes, religion is for some people, but when you're trying to evolve and trying to grow and get out of that box, because religion just puts you in a box and you're stuck there. Spirituality opens up the world to you. So if you're a Protestant in a Protestant household or have Protestant parents, there are things you can do. Think outside the box, connect to your spirits. You can even ask them to give you the divine inspiration on what you can do. That's my suggestion for you. Again, I am the Vodou doll, Mumble Ganin. Till next time, stay blessed. Ayi Bobo.